All right, welcome back. We continue our pace with the conversation with the panelists already here. Peter Kaluma, Member of Parliament, former Bay Town. Also, we're joined by Dr. Makali Mulu, who is a Member of Parliament, Kitui Central. Yet to be joined by Richard Onyonka, if he will show up. So we continue our pace, as it were. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for showing up this evening. I really do appreciate it. It's been quite a long day for some of you. I know Dr. Makali Mulu, it has been one of the longest days as well. And Peter Kaluma, thank you. It's been a while. But it's good now to slice and dice what is the lay of the land as far as politics is concerned. And we just begin maybe with Wakili first of all. I don't know, you're one of them who was boycotting today with the, with the lawyers. Yeah, it seems it's not really a consummate, consolidated effort. Some of the lawyers as well were showing up. They are not boycotted. What is your stand as far as maybe this issue of corruption and jurisprudence is concerned?
Yeah, let me say that I looked at the memo by the Council of the Law Society of Kenya.
Yes.
Which is a very new council, just elected the other time. I also saw the writing they gave to the judiciary about adjournment of the cases. And so I saw the grievance, or the grievances that was being, presented by lawyers as the basis upon which they were protesting, demonstrating, and they were to picket today. I want to say that there could be an issue, but the approach is wrong, and it is coming too early. One, the lawyers are saying that cases are delaying in terms of determination. How do you adjourn cases across the country of your clans for a whole day if really your grievance is that the hearing of the cases should be expedited? You are contradicting your position, because you can imagine if courts in the entire country, we have people who have been awaiting trial, they are in remand, they are not able to secure bail terms. You have people in civil disputes, land matters, succession matters, which are going for years. You want to say that as lawyers you are boycotting courts so that they can be determined expeditiously, when by the very act of your boycott you are delaying the cases further. You can imagine the number of cases and the hurt on the client base represented by these lawyers which happened across the country. But
I thought maybe the boycott is maybe to instigate a shock value, so that at least even if you're saying the piling of the courts, there should be a immediate action that is taken so that we can see an intervention to try and curb corruption.
That is why I'm saying even if there were to be a reason, we have a better approaches of dealing with some of those issues. Look,
which from your own estimation will be what?
The Constitution creates independent commissions. One of them is the Judicial Service Commission. If you have a problem with any judge and you have evidence, present it to the Judicial Service Commission. And the Judicial Service Commission should deal with it. We cannot have a situation where we have Judicial Service Commission and as lawyers, instead of pursuing that path, you are bullying judges, saying you're boycotting their courts. Number two, you see, the lawyers are saying that there are petitions which have been taken, complaints taken before the Judicial Service Commission, that really they are not moving, expeditiously. In some cases, they are saying that, I noted from the memo, that the Judicial Service Commission, no, not the Judicial Service Commission, but the judges or the judicial officers whose conduct have been, remitted to the Judicial Service Commission for disciplinary or removal purposes, have gone to courts. And so lawyers are also boycotting the courts for giving orders to those judges. But you see the ball again, the same lawyers will tell you two things. One, there is a right to fair hearing. Okay? And in terms of fair hearing, if you believe that the processes of the Judicial Service Commission are being abused, Makali here will tell you, you have a right to challenge it. No court will give an order, more so at the first instance, staying legal action against a judicial officer, if unless there is some, prima facie on the face of it, basis, for doing so. What you should press for is expeditious, therefore, hearing of the substantive, complaints a judge has taken. But you cannot, as an advocate, say that it is so wrong that you call for a protest because a judicial officer was presented to the Judicial Service Commission is, you know, before another court of law staying action against him, I mean, then court processes will not exist. At the last level, Dibal, we can say judicial officers actually may be like other Kenyans engaged in you know, unethical issues, including corruption. And I would be the last person to deny that. But what is a bridge in corruption that involved judicial you know, officers? It's the lawyers themselves. If I can tell you, for my over 25 years in practice, there is no judge who will reach a client there without a lawyer in between here. So how are lawyers, before they even call for protests, that is hurting even their client base, dealing with corruption among lawyers themselves? I have relatives, Dibal, who are cutting sugarcane in Sony Sugar before I became an advocate.
Yes.
You know, an ambulance chaser, these ones we call ambulance chasers. Just go get their names, Migori, Yana, and Kisi. And then these people just went, got a settlement with insurance companies, got paid millions. Those sugarcane cutters never got a coin. You petition for these matters to be dealt with, they're not dealt with. I'm saying there may be reason to say we must hold the judiciary accountable. But we cannot do so at the expense of the general public we serve as lawyers.
Maybe also
and we cannot do so when we have not exhausted the other, you know, approaches that we can, you know, use to deal with this. And let me tell you, we have a very good Chief Justice, you know, this time. I don't know why, you know, the new president of the Law Society of Kenya, who I campaigned for and I really support and is a friend, Charles Kanjama, had or has a problem, you know, just hacking a meeting involving the senior bar, the junior bar, with the Chief Justice and the Judicial Service Commission, and then addressing her, you know, those specific issues without, you know, calling for protests, which is, you know, the least suited remedy for the grievances they have.
My understanding also, I think in February there was a meeting which was held, you know, with the Law Society of Kenya and among some of the people who were raising concerns, especially the juris pesa issue, right? Around February, 25th, 26th there was a meeting held. So calling for another meeting, what discernible difference will it make? But primarily I wanted just to ask the question of even the constitution of a Judicial Service Commission, as it were. Because from the BOMAS, you know, meeting that you had when this was coming up, there was a suggestion that we should have a non-judge as the president of a Judicial Service Commission. Not really having the Chief Justice now as the president of Judicial Service Commission as it stands right now. So that we may avoid the issue of, you know, the judge judging themselves. So that at least we have an arbiter who is, should I say, in a demilitarized zone, so to speak.
Let me tell you about the composition of the Judicial Service Commission. The Chief Justice is the chairperson of the Judicial Service Commission. The vice chair is the deputy chief justice. And then each court, as a judge or a magistrate, they elect. And then judges and magistrates sit together under Kenya Judges and Magistrates Association to elect their representative. A magistrate and a judge. We have a judge representing the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the High Court. And then we have a magistrate, okay? The Law Society of Kenya elects 1 or 2 members of the commission. And there is a commissioner, in fact, about 2 commissioners representing public interest. And then the last is the Attorney General as the head of the bar. If you look at that composition, you really can't say that we don't have people who can secure, you know, public interest in the matter. And that composition is not unique to the Judicial Service Commission. When you go to the Parliamentary Service Commission, Dibal, where we sit with my brother Makali, the chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission is the Speaker of the National Assembly. The Secretary and CEO of the Parliamentary Service Commission is the Clerk of the Senate. You have then members of Parliament from the National Assembly. Now we have Honorable Mishi Boko, I think Faith Gitau, and then members from the Senate. You have Senator Okongo Mogeni, and I think Senator Wamatinga currently, as the other one was removed. And then you have people like the retiring Honorable Ameso and others representing the public interest. When you go to the National Police Service Commission, you get that police component. So there is a way in which, in the composition of these bodies, we were saying they were dealing with critical organs or apparatuses of governance, and you cannot say you bring a total outsider to deal with them. That is not to say that I'm diminishing whatever complaints fellow lawyers may have. I'm saying the approach is not right. And the approach, to me, was also not timely for, you know, this new Council of the Law Society of Kenya we just elected. I want to request President Charles Kanjama that in the same way I saw him come and do a courtesy with Parliament, I sat with the Speaker, the Chair of Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. We were dealing with where we can partner with Law Society of Kenya, because theirs is a statutory body with some public interest issues to deal with in legislation. Today, even as you are thanking, you know, my brother here for having, you know, started the day very early. Up to the time I was coming here, the Finance Committee is dealing with a competition law amendment bill, a microfinance law amendment bill.
Thank you.
And the majority of people who are feeding into the process in terms of public participation are lawyers. So I'm saying, if you have a Chief Justice like Chief Justice Martha Koome, whose doors are open, you know, go and sit there. Let us agree with these things in a manner that do not hurt the public. But we must avoid a situation where you come from nowhere and you say judges are corrupt, and you make it a public issue. You erode public confidence in the impartiality and independence of the judiciary while purporting to be holding the judiciary accountable. That is why I, of course, dismiss the approach.
It appears boycotting and picketing is only is the only voluble, you know, voice that maybe can bring a voice of reason at the end of the day. But let me come to Dr. Makali Mulu and just to rope you in on a very interesting, unless you wanted also just to chime in on this, then I come to you directly on what I wanted
to raise with you.
Yes.
On this issue, and what I would say is that Dibalo, we all live in Kenya, and members of the public have been complaining about judiciary, and this has also been proved by some surveys, what we call the Bravery Index Perception Survey.
Yes.
And you know, judicial also appears among the top institutions. So what is happening is a situation where the bench and the bar are coming out to confirm what has been happening,
yes,
what the public has been saying. And I will say this. There is this common saying where we say, I just want to give an example. If you see the fish complaining about or saying the whale is sick, you believe because they live in the same house. They are all in the sea or the ocean. It means they are together every day. And my friend Kaluma knows very well that for us who are not non-lawyers,
yes,
for me to be able to relate with a judge, it has to be through a lawyer. So when the lawyer complains, it is just to confirm some of these things. So maybe the procedure, the way it is being done, could be wrong, or could be unprocedural.
Yes.
But I think it raises fundamental issues which must be addressed. So the bar and the bench needs to agree on how do we sort out these issues and still maintain the respect and trust of the institutions. Otherwise, these are issues of concern to Kenyans. There's nothing new, and Kenyans would wish to see them sorted out. Right. So can they sort out the issues and then we continue? Yeah,
and we've been here. Maybe from your assessment, you can actually tell us then how much are we spending when it comes to, you know, making sure that even within the corridors of justice, we clean up the issues of corruption? Because we've had the vetting of judges. Was it around in 2012? Yeah. We had a robust vetting of judges that you know, consumed a lot of money also in this country to try and just clamp these clammy fingers of corruption. Yes. It seems it is never really gone out. I wanted just to know from your own assessment, maybe we are barking the wrong tree, and maybe what the lawyers are doing right now should try and push the envelope and bring...
I think what is happening is, I think what the lawyers are saying is, we should have justice without paying for it. You know, it looks like now in Kenya you must pay for justice. For you to get justice, you pay. And I think that is not what... the principle of access to justice should be a principle where you get justice when you should get it, not when you pay for it. And that's what the lawyers are saying now. At the level where they are, it has gotten to a level where they must call a spade a spade. And you know, judges, we take them in Kenya, it's like they're up there.
Yes. We
should never talk about them. But now we are saying with the space where people should talk freely, they should also be accountable. If you look at the budget of judiciary,
yes,
it has actually, through the legal committee where Kaluma used to sit, it has really improved. We are not talking about 31 billion going to judiciary, about 31 billion. And initially when I joined Parliament, they used to get about 16 billion. So with this increased budget, and this is taxpayers' money, Kenyans expect better services, expect better access to justice. But you know, the issue of delayed cases, all these things make it even look bad, because we are getting more resources, we are employing more judges, we are employing more magistrates. But at the end of the day, Kenyans still are waiting for 1 year before their cases are determined, which I think is not fair to Kenya.
Indeed,
yeah.
Indeed. Okay, you want to chime in a bit?
You see, Dibal, I think you'd have brought these lawyers who have come up with this thing called juris pesa to sit with us here. I can tell you they are some of the most corrupt advocates corrupting the judicial system. And so you have the issue of people seeking to corrupt judicial system whenever they hit the wall, shouting juris pesa, juris pesa. I can tell you, you name whoever they are. And I hope they are watching. I've practiced with them for the over 26 years. I've been an advocate. Some of them are far, far younger than me in practice. What I'm saying is that accountability is a national value. All institutions of governance have to be held to account and must be accountable. The Constitution establishes the means and institutions for holding various institutions accountable without besmirching public confidence or undermining public confidence in them. When you have a complaint against a judicial officer, you have 2 steps as a lawyer. One, you can go before that judicial officer and seek the disqualification of that judicial officer from handling the matter. And you will be told by these lawyers that when I was in practice, I think the lawyer who disqualified very many. And whenever you approach any judge to his face and tell him, I don't want you to deal with this matter, I can tell you most judges will say, I'm not the only judge to deal with the matter. Any other judicial officer can deal with it. If the judge refuses and you have proper evidence of corruption, it becomes a matter of misconduct that is undermining the integrity of the judiciary. You take it to the Judicial Service Commission. You cannot then, as an advocate, proper Makali, say that if you take a case where you are bullying a judge before the Judicial Service Commission, and that judge has just to go through that process, that judge, like any other Kenyan, has a right to go to the Constitutional Judicial Review Court and say the legal process is being abused. And if that court gives an order, it is no basis upon which you go to the street saying it is a mistake for a judge to stay the prosecution where a judge is saying I'm being bullied before the Judicial Service Commission. So I'm saying there could be grievance, but there are better ways of addressing it in a manner that does not undermine public confidence in the judiciary. And let me tell you, Dibal, we may be here Makali Mulu, but a time comes in the life of each citizen where you just need a single individual called a judicial officer to save you. If you already go, announcing in public as the lawyers that the courts where, justice should be sought is entirely corrupt, to the extent that you boycott all courts, including courts of people you don't have any complaints against, what have you done in terms of, sustaining public confidence in the judiciary? And that's why I'm saying there could be legitimate grievances, but there are better ways of handling them in a manner that separates good judges and good magistrates from those bad ones, which whom we should then deal with. But when you go, having protest demonstrations against the entire institution, where will Kenyans then go?
Thank you.
And once we have lowered judicial confidence in the judiciary, then you've opened the world to anarchy. So instead of taking you to court, I'll simply say, when you take me to court, the judges are corrupt. We sort it out physically. It is people killing one another. It is people, taking issues to their hands. So the approach is wrong.
Right. Okay. I think we are done and dusted with that particular issue. It's still a developing one. But I wanted just to also rope you in, Makali Muli, on this particular issue of developing a new vision for Kenya towards a first world nation, briefly. If you may just comment on it before we buckle down to some politics as well. This was launched yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, and strategic guidelines for long-term national transformation. Why do we need this one? We are yet to see the full scope and the fruition of the Vision 2030.
I think generally, it's important we have a new vision, because the Vision 2030 is closing in another four years. 2030 is just 4 years from today.
Indeed.
And now that the closure of that vision will be coming very soon, it's important we start thinking about a new vision as a nation. And that's why yesterday you saw the president commission that what I would call a brief fashion of a vision. The details have not been worked, but it's just a very high level document indicating what areas we need to look at as we push Kenya to become a first world country. They call it a first class country.
A first world nation.
Yeah, a first world nation, yeah. So what has happened is that I've looked at both documents, and like when you look at the Vision 2030, there are 3 pillars: the economic pillar, social pillar, and the political pillar. When you look at the new document, it talks about agricultural development as a pillar, industrialization as a pillar, and then technology and innovation as a 3rd pillar. So anything else becomes an enabler. And we were saying, when you look at the Vision 2030, it was very clear when it comes to economic pillar, what were the targets? The target was to grow the economy by about 10% annually for the period of the vision, which was about, because it started 2008, about 22 years. And that was to be achieved by manufacturing, contributing about 15% annually, agriculture about 70%, and there are quite a number of other targets under the economic pillar. Now, when it comes to the social pillar, the discussion was that we are going to have a first-class education system, first-class health system, under the social pillar now. And what that means is, then once you achieve that, then you're able to move to wherever you wanted to go. Because the vision was to move Kenya from a low-income country to a middle-level income country. As at now, we have been moved to the middle level, but the lower level, not where we wanted to be. Now, when you go to the political pillar then, which discuss basically governance issues, you are supposed to have a democratically elected government. People send that government, and now you bring the issues of our values, where as a country we have very clear values as stipulated in our constitution. Now, the question is, before we think about the new vision, have we looked at where we are with the 2030 vision?
Indeed, that's the question.
And what challenges we have faced, and on the basis of lessons learned from the challenges faced, have we inputted the lessons learned into the new vision, so that we don't get a repeat of the same
mistakes
challenges
we had? Was
lucky enough, the leadership and development of the vision 2030 was Minister Anyang' Nyong'o, who is now the governor of Kisumu. The leader in this new one is Anyang' Nyong'o, who is the governor of Kisumu. Which means when he sits there, he can easily tell us where the gaps are. And when you look at the language use, you realize that there isn't much in terms of difference in terms of language. So to me, I think that's what I said in the morning, that there are some fundamental issues we must address as a nation for us to move to our first class nation. And quickly, just by listing, not explaining, the issue of unemployment. This country faces a lot of unemployment, and the few Kenyans who claim to have a job are in the informal sector. You know, when you're in the informal sector, it's not a clearly structured employment which could generate revenue for the country and also. So the thing is, we need to think about why have we not achieved higher levels of formalized employment. The other matter which is critical is the matter of public debt. With the levels of public debt as a nation where we are today, are we able to achieve that first class with the level of debt we have? And more likely the answer is yes, no. So we need to have a very clear strategy on how do we address issues of public debt so that we are within limits which can allow a bigger fiscal space to implement. The third matter is the matter we have just discussed, the issue of corruption. Countries which claim to be first-class countries, the levels of corruption are not as high as we have. So it means we must discuss corruption as a country and say, where are we?
Yeah.
Issues of attitude, our basic values as a country.
Yes.
You know, every time you travel, and me and Kaluma, we traveled widely. There's some countries you get to, you know, as we are used to littering our streets and all over. There are countries you get to, you look at the streets, and even after you have taken your seat from the cover, it forces you to carry it all the way to look for a dustbin somewhere because you can't litter.
Yes.
In this country, the street lights are showing it's red, and you see all of us crossing. We need to get to a situation where, even if it is midnight, and you find those street lights showing red, you stop and wait for the green.
Public order.
Something basics.
Yes, indeed.
So we have a lot of things we are not getting right, and that's what I'm saying. It's good to have a new vision, but can we achieve it without these fundamentals being sorted out? And there are very many. Look at the cost of energy in this country. For how long have we been talking about cost of energy, which makes production very expensive? For a long, long time. So it means somebody must sit and say, how do we bring down the cost of energy so that we make our goods competitive? Internally, that is domestically, and externally. Because you can't compete with other countries if their cost of production is low, because it makes your goods expensive.
Indeed.
So these are the issues. And I hope that we will engage in a serious national conversation through public participation so that we are able to push this new vision. The other important matter on this vision, this is a vision for Kenya. It is not a vision for a coalition party or an individual party. So the development of this new vision must be inclusive, so that when I become the president, I don't come and say this was not my vision. When Kaluma becomes the president, he doesn't come and say I have to set my new vision, so that we embrace the vision as Kenyans, so that even when there is a regime change, the regimes are guided by this development blueprint.
Right, but the question also is, even as maybe we're just bringing it close to that particular conversation, where is the voice of a citizen when we are crafting this, first world nation vision and documents? How are we consulting also the citizens so that at least we are part and parcel of this particular vision together? We have been consulted. We always see, this unleashing of new visions, new documents, new plans without any citizenry participation.
That's one of the major gaps. If you looked at the team,
yes,
because actually Nyong mentioned the team.
Yes.
Professor Karuti Karinga, Professor Nyong himself, and a few university lecturers. They were all dons. Who moves this economy? If we talk about manufacturing, we need the owners of factories and enterprises in
Kenya
that
Association of Manufacturers,
so that they are on the table.
There. Yes, they should be on the table.
When you talk about agriculture, where are the key players in that sector? When you talk about tourism, so we are saying we would rather take a longer time, but bring everybody onto the table.
So we have a multi-sectoral voices.
Exactly. So we need more inclusion, so that it's a document for all of us, and then we can move it forward.
Indeed.
But it's a very good idea. As an economist, that's something you cannot avoid to do. We say if you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Indeed.
So for us to prosper as a country, We must get these documents ready.
All right.
Then implement.
So China, they have a vision casting of over 100 years. I wonder what is the vision of this particular document?
They have not again, but there could be a
is there any
30, 40 years. They have not say, it's not stated in the document.
It's not stated
long.
completely.
It's just a new vision. And Yong did indicate that now more meat will be put into it through public participation, so that get more people.
Okay. So there is room for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was just a sketch of
fantastic.
those.
Yeah, Dibal, allow me only to mention one thing. You know, yesterday when I watched the president speak to the proposed new vision, and I'm calling it proposed because without public participation,
yes,
it remains a draft. So I'm very happy Makali, who was present there, confirms there will be involvement of the public and the shaping of the final, vision.
Yes.
With the thinking of all Kenyans who are available to input. Personally, I will. I wanted to secure one thing which I had being mentioned. You know, the president mentioned that going forward, all our university students on admission, on applying for help, will, be granted all the money they need under that, system to secure that they study. And when I listened to that, Dibal, I thought that ought to have been the main news item, possibly for the whole month. You know, we have very many students from, low-income backgrounds, some from very, vulnerable, families, who are called to, high expenditure faculties like, medicine, law, engineering, architecture, pharmacy, who cannot pursue those courses because of the inadequacy of the funding. Sometimes they apply, you get banded at a wrong level. I wanted to, appreciate that and request that that is one thing that, in as much as we are still processing the vision, let us secure it to the university students. We started with Makali. I think Makali started earlier. His time was better. They could have been getting even what they called
the boom.
The boom. During our time, I came from a very humble background. You go to the university and you've been given 6,000 as help. When colleagues who are coming to the university driving are getting over 50,000, the maximum at that time. So they are drinking away the loan when, of course, you from a poor background, you cannot even sustain yourself within the university. And that is why I want to appreciate this administration, number one, for introducing that means testing. But proposing later, yesterday, by the president, the proposal to now secure that according to your need, you'll get that money. That, to me, would be the biggest mark, President Ruto would make. And I wanted to say that as members of parliament, Honorable Makali, when we return to parliament next week, let us, as the president advised, secure it. If we could do that, Dibal, and then secure some level of, better financing for, what we currently call secondary education, I can tell you we would have done a very transformational step for this country. Because some sharp guy I was studying his text in the morning said, the future of nations, the prosperity of nations, sit in lecture halls, sit in classrooms. So the more we enable our young people to go through education, but the better the future is. So that one should be secured. But I also wanted to say that...
but we have these realities that even as much as we want to have this good salutary effort that is coming from government right now with this particular funding, the question of also the statutory deductions, payment of lecturers that has not been forthcoming for the longest time. We have WASU every other time. I think, they'll pop up their heads and say, we are grinding, all matters academia right now until this matter is sorted, and then the government will move in. So as much as even we want to make it free, as it is, as we're trying to, still these issues of funding in the universities should be addressed first before you also make this.
And do I tell you, Dibal, as against the past, the strikes and protests by teachers are fewer. The strikes by the universities are fewer currently. if you compared them to the first and second, Uruto, regime. I don't know whether you would agree, Makali, but essentially we would have a situation where you don't go to class for even a whole semester. Professors, dons were now on the street permanently. Uwasu was permanently there. You remember that leader of Uwasu who had a long...
the goatee.
You never quite, see the match.
Yes.
So I know there is some good progress and improvement around the education sector. But we are saying, with this vision, we should secure that the education sector is working far, far better than it has been working. Even in terms of emoluments, if you were to leave aside, delay in payments and those other issues, what our teachers earn here is no money. I had primary school teachers who went to the United States under this government program, Makali. From my primary schools, Ndiru Primary, Homa Bay Primary, I was in, Washington. I went to Maryland. And teachers who could barely, get fare on a motorbike, driving, Cadillac within a year. There is a way we treat the education sector in a manner that has not been right. But there has been, great improvement. If you see these people loitering around, most of them are trained teachers. And they have teachers training colleges. Yeah. You have so many who are still outside there. Let us appreciate the administration for, seeking to employ as many of them as possible. But let us also secure better terms and ensure that the disturbances around the education sector as we deal with curriculum and as we deal with funding for students are all secured in that vision. That is the point I was making.
But you see also, we just read a news item that teachers have been ranked among the lowest paid professionals in government.
I'm confirming it.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, we just read a story.
I'm confirming it.
Authorities are failing to address salary inequities.
When you go to China,
Dibal. Let me give a chance to
let me just make this one line statement.
Then,
Go to China, go to Japan. The salary of a teacher is way beyond the salary of even a member of parliament. They say teacher is next to God. As from a teacher, you build the future I'm talking about in the lecture halls, in the laboratories, in the classrooms, in the research centers. And that's why I'm saying we must have a vision that does not just secure that students, get the opportunities to be and to sharpen the talents that they have through hard work or inborn, but also create a system where people working in the education chain as a primary, sector are, treated well in terms of payment, in terms of the regularity thereof, so that we don't have, teachers going all over. When you go to China, when they wanted to industrialize, Makali here will tell you, they called back all their lecturers from the United States, from Europe, and they offered to pay them more than 5 times what they were earning there. When I'm telling you, a primary school teacher who left for the United States, teaching in a kindergarten in the United States within a year is driving me in a Cadillac, when a teacher who is senior to them here, including a head teacher, cannot get, it calls for a rethink. And I think with the vision of President Ruto, we should achieve it.
Thank you.
I think the challenge is bigger than the way my friend Karuma is putting it. For you to realize this new vision, you need a very efficient public sector. Very efficient, so that, because that's the sector which drives the vision in terms of implementation. And when you look at our public sector, there are a number of challenges. One of them is the low pay, as Kaluma is putting it. The other challenge is skills development, that most people will be employed. There's no money for capacity building, so they never develop their levels. The other thing is the issue of they are very demotivated because some don't have a very clear scheme of service where you get promoted when it's due. In this public service we have currently in Ibao, there are people who have remained the same job group for 15 years. No promotion, even 15 30. Years, even 30 years. Now, how do you get such an officer to push you to a new vision? It's very... The other thing is hiring not on the basis of merit, but on the basis of political patronage. You see, you get somebody who is very junior, like yesterday I was discussing with a medical doctor. By their oath, they say, I will respect my seniors. So it means if you are a senior doctor, and then you are somebody who graduated after you, will also respect you. Then all of a sudden you find you are junior becoming your boss. even the
dynamics around
the day-to-day interaction, the dynamics, makes it very complicated.
Indeed.
So we need to have, and that's why you see, for countries which are in the first-class world, the first-class world, if you look at their civil service, it's very professional, that you are hired on the basis of merit, and even when a new president comes, you don't care who comes, because you are there by your qualification, and you do your work professionally. You advise, and you allow the leaders to take their final decision. But this is a situation where we have a public service, by look of things, they are so demotivated, so demoralized, and you want them to take Kenya to a first class. It becomes complicated. These are the
realities that we have now to
These are the realities we have to address before we talk about that new vision.
Indeed.
And if we do it, I'm telling you, we can be there.
Thank you.
We can be there.
Gentlemen, allow me just to turn the crack a bit now to politics and just look also on the latest development that we've had during the day. Like today, a very interesting meeting that we had. Just looking at the publication also of the Star, if my director may just put it up for my guests to see and also for the viewers who are following. Matiang'i left out as Sifuna Kalonzo combo text shape is what is headlining tomorrow's publication of a Star. And from being Uhuru's preferred front runner, he's now struggling to survive. Also a very interesting cartoon that we have in the Star tomorrow, East or West? And you have alama ya dukuduku, or the ellipsis there, East or West, home is best. And this is an olive leaf that is being proffered there to Deputy President Kindiki by the, of course, self-proclaimed Mount Kenya kingpin. This is Rigathi Gachagua, as you can see him being crowned here at the peak of Mount Kenya. Interesting developments we have there. But let's start with where we are at. And I think this is right up, I think your alley, where you have your party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, now with this particular touted combination of Sifuna, Kalonzo being on the ticket. Is that a conversation that you're privy to yourself as a Wiper member?
I'm part of that discussion because I belong to the alternative government.
Yes.
And what is there is we have said we have many principles. So there's a lot of analysis about the scenarios. Our objective is to kick Kenya Kwanza government out of power come August 10th. So what is happening is people are trying to look at which scenario would achieve that goal. And that's why you see there is always this analysis about Kalonzo Sifuna ticket, Matiang'i Kalonzo ticket. But what is it seems like the top one, Kalonzo seems to have settled. Now it's below where we are looking at who brings. Yeah, from the analysis, I'm just talking about
the running mate is a question now.
As an analyst now, I'm just. It's like when you say, okay, this seems to have settled. So can we look at which other one worked well? And I think that's where that headline comes from. That they are saying currently from that analysis, it's like saying now, Matiang'i was a potential running mate, but it seems to have been overtaken by Sifuna. But I think even the other day we had an interview of Martha Karua where she was saying, with that she's already fixed on the presidency. If she doesn't get it,
she's out of the United
She's out of the running post. So this is a scenario we are trying to analyze.
And it seems when now you will announce your presidential candidates, or confirm if it's Kalonzo and the ticket of Sifuna as well. Now that will be the undoing of a united opposition, according to other political pundits. As long as, because everyone is waiting, as long as even Martha Karua has indicated,
I think the principals have given a commitment. They have given a commitment that if I'm not the one who is likely to get that ticket, the presidential ticket, I will support the rest. And I've said many times, and I say it openly, without any fear of contradiction, if they don't remain together, they will be hanged separately. I'm telling you.
They'll be hanged separately. And of course, this will be just a shoe-in for Ruto with the two-term. If you don't hang together as it is. Kaluma, I don't know if you've been following this latest development so far, especially this coming after the backdrop of Ol Kalou, defeat of UDA. And this is what the cartoon is alluding to. Now, Kindiki, you've really burnt your fingers after being, so confidently hopeful that you will win this particular seat, it's turned out to be, something else completely. Come home, because these people are going to mistreat you, as it were. This is what now the Deputy President has been saying. I don't know what is the sentiment.
The Olkalau seat was previously held by Jubilee. So DCP defeated Jubilee and Matiang'i. And it ends at that. It was not
but they didn't have a candidate. Jubilee didn't have a candidate.
But
it's UDA which had a candidate.
They forfeited the seat for
UDA.
You've asked whether I've been following up what is happening in the political space. Dibal, I'm in the Politburo of the broad-based government side. We are watching very keenly. Yeah, on our side, we have a presidential candidate. That is President Ruto. And he's doing very well in terms of, record, in terms of the transformation he's bringing to the country, in terms of how he's including regions in development, in terms of how he's, included communities, in, public service, and just, bringing Kenyans together to feel their equal.
But in terms of rating, it has declined significantly as well.
And so we are waiting. Those are those opinion polls, Dibal, which said UDA would win Olkalau. Don't take much interest in them. I can tell you, we are very ready. We are watching what is happening on their side, and they can take as long as...
Do they have a running mate?
This is the question that's this is the biggest question. Even as we're looking at this editorial cartoon, he's asking you a very critical question. Do you have a running mate?
Doesn't President Ruto have a deputy currently?
People are asking.
Yeah, so number one,
in a political chess, does he have the gravitas right now to command, the voting bloc of Mount Kenya?
This is
even looking at what Olkalau has made you.
As the broad-based government, we are beyond thinking of positions. We are waiting for their candidates.
But Kaluma, you have said we want power.
Let me tell you.
No.
We have Kindiki, and we control very many regions. And we have a huge constellation of leaders from whom we can choose running mates to President Ruto if it were to become necessary.
Your party leader,
what we are looking at...
No. Your party leader, Dr. Buru, has been on record saying we are not going for nothing less than the deputy president.
Yes. For our side, let me tell you, Dibal, and I'm speaking as the Politburo, we are not about who is presidential candidate. I've told you it is President Ruto. I will tell you that President Ruto currently has a deputy, and if it will be necessary, by the choice of that deputy that we have others, we have very many people who can be, running mates. And we are not worried about that. I wanted to tell Makali that you are taking too long. Give us your presidential candidate. Give us your running mate. We start, our campaigns. We are at a point, my brother.
But you've already started your campaigns. What are you saying? You start your campaigns?
The formal campaigns.
The formal campaigns.
The formal campaigns. And by the way, you are taking far too long. We want to deal with you as fast as possible. Because from where we are, Dibal, we don't just do bravado. We don't rely on those opinion polls. We know where we are. We have our strategy. And we firmly believe, if I were not to say no, that because of the good leadership President Ruto has given this country, unlike the other, presidents before, it would be out of something I can bet over, something beyond 75% of the votes of this country. We will lock it in. Where we are...
From where now?
Where we are, Dibal, is that even before campaigns start, if you want us to do analysis, I will give you. If we do analysis in terms of National Assembly, Makali, even before campaigns start, we are sure of a minimum of 230 before campaign start.
Where?
That is if we leave the entire Nairobi, we leave even the entire Mount Kenya and Lower Eastern, we leave even Western out.
But are you
so they are delaying us. They are delaying us.
Let me say this.
Make your choices.
Let me say this.
We meet and we re-elect President Ruto. And I can bet with you, Makali, if President Ruto will get less than 75% of the votes in this country, we will leave Dibal here with money to be picked by whoever wins. So we are working on money.
How much money are we leaving? How much money are you leaving here so that at least I know there's some amount of money we bet.
Dibal, I do agree.
I'll bet money.
I agree.
So they are delaying fate and destiny. Bring whoever you want. We have our numbers, we have our strategy, we have our candidate, we are waiting for you, and we have our record. We are waiting for you.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is this. I agree with Kaluma on one thing. We have walked this political journey with Kaluma since 2013. He knows very well 2013, 2017, 2022, because we are on the same side. We unveiled our presidential candidate hardly 4 months to election. And that didn't give Kenyans enough time to agree to get our candidate well.
Yes.
At the same time, the delay also caused undecided voters to switch to the side which was. So that's one thing I agree with him, that our side, we need to bring our candidate early enough.
So why are you playing with the likely scenarios?
So that, what I said earlier, I'm sure you remember, I told you, we were in this discussion with you. I said my position as Makali Mulu is we should be able to present Kenyans with a candidate 1 year to the election. So I'm looking by next month, 10th, that by the next month, 10th, if we want to be fair to Kenyans, we should be able to say this is our presidential candidate. Do you know why? That will give Kenyans, forget about their side, Kenyans, because you are Kenyan and I'm a Kenyan, time to say, now we have Kalonzo as a candidate against President Ruto. What are the strengths of President Kalonzo? You list them. What are the challenges? And then we'll also give the President Ruto's side time to go to KRA and harass him enough so that we have enough time to campaign. Because obviously we'll harass him. So to me, I think that's the best way, because now what happens is you announce your candidate so close to the election that the government starts harassing your candidate, and that time you have no time to recover. So let's give Kenyans time so that they say, and then the undecided voters will be able to say, now we know what to choose from. So they will say, I go this direction or this direction. In that case, I'm telling you, Ruto will be beaten hands down.
Makali, what will happen if the candidate is not Kalonzo?
I mean basically.
Can we play with the likely scenario that is shaping up?
Our side.
Yes.
The principals, I'm not a principal. They have said, with them, whoever will be picked by the team, they will run behind that person. So for me, I still have that position. It could be Kalonzo, it could be Amunyoro, it could be Madakarua, it could be, but you know where my heart is.
Right. Yes.
You know where my heart is.
You know where your heart is.
Yes.
But the look of things, it seems all things are really sewn up also for the Kalonzo presidency as it is. That is not really confirmed. But can we play with the likely scenario that we have on the table right now, looking at the events of the day, that there is a Kalonzo Sifuna ticket? We want to see what will the countermanding strategy coming from also, the UDA side, the broad-based government side as well. If you have that particular, instead of waiting for them to announce, you have a likely scenario. Because I know also in your situation,
yes, Dibal, you deal with 2 things. Number 1, the number of MPs you are sure of getting, especially in the National Assembly. Okay?
But how confident are they? There will be a lot of hoping.
No.
A lot of hoping. So you cannot trust
there are the fundamentals that direct our politics.
Which is?
And number 1 are regions and communities of interest, the interest of various communities. I can tell you, where we are now, for example, Makali, if you have the pact of, Kalonzo, okay, and Matiang'i, for example, you can be sure, Makali, you are always talking about Makueni, Kitui, Machakos, you can project how they will vote. And how they will elect
That's
people.
obvious.
You can easily predict how
Like
and which direction the 14 MPs from Kisii region will go. You get that is why you are saying matching. So if you were to have, Kalonzo Matiang'i, you start with 49 MPs.
About 49.
49. You get what I'm talking about? If you have somebody like Sifuna and, Kalonzo, you are talking of the 25 MPs in the National Assembly from Mukambani plus Bungoma. About 12.
Are you saying Kakamega, Sifuna will have no impact on Busia?
You know, we know the dynamics of Western Kenya. You know the situation in Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga, he does not know because he comes from a bit far. But they seldom vote together. Bungoma, the Bukusus and the other, subgroups seldom vote together, except when a Bukusu is leading, like the time of Masinde Muliro and Wamalo. Otherwise, even in the last election, the Bungoma and Trans Nzoia Bukusus voted for President Ruto. These others, traditionally voted for Raila. So you can easily play those dynamics. Now, look at Rift Valley, my brother Makali. How many MPs are in Rift Valley? 90.
90.
Yeah, exclude 12 from Nakuru. And don't even exclude 12. In Nakuru, there is Kuresoi North and Kuresoi South and Rongai, which are, Kalenjin Heartland. You know how they will vote. So from a whole 90, Makali, subtract, 9 MPs in Rift Valley. You have 81. Rift Valley alone. So
why are we subtracting Nakuru? Is it cosmopolitan or
it's cosmopolitan?
Yes.
Because of the
and if the Mount Kenya people vote that direction, you can easily give them 9 out of the 12 automatically. You leave Ruto with a startup of 81. How many MPs do you have in Luo Nyanza? Just take Luo Nyanza alone, 33. How many MPs do you have in Mandera, Wajir, Marsabit, not Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, 22. How many MPs do you have in, Marsabit, Isiolo, Tana River? 24. Where are they going? When you go to the coast, leaving a few, places for them, how many MPs do you have in Kilifi? How many MPs do you take in Mombasa? How many do you give them in Kwale, Taita, and how many do we? We are starting at over 20, 30 definite before you even touch, all these others, including, Nairobi, which you can reorganize on. So number one,
all these regions are really locked.
Locked. They're locked.
Decisively.
I'm telling you.
I like the way you're speaking so confidently that they're locked completely. For the broad-based government.
Dibal, go to Luo Nyanza, and Dibal, I can tell you here, will vote for Ruto to a man.
Okay.
Go to Kalenjin Rift Valley, they'll vote for Ruto to a man. Go to these marginalized areas I'm talking about. Because of what President Ruto has done in terms of taking developments to these marginalized areas. I told you the other time here I was in Wajir, Mandera. Those people are so hardcore. They are seeing development for the first time.
But just looking also the voting pattern that we had with the 2022 election as well.
Yes.
You must also consider the fact that,
now that
the Raila factor and the Ruto factor was there.
Yes.
The margin that also went with Raila,
no.
We are not very sure.
Now that is the second thing.
He's not here.
The debate, I agree with you.
So you cannot really
say that I agree with you.
Completely.
Number one, Dibal, you look at MPs and whether you are able to govern. But the most fundamental thing we must deal with, Dibal, are the voter demographics you are talking about. Okay? Now, look at the voter demographics in terms of the turnout and the numbers which voted last time. And you will realize, in truth, without adding figures, where we are. And so I wanted to tell Makali that beyond, agreeing on your candidate and running mate, if possible, please move to the point of dealing with registration. Do you know what is happening at Dibal?
Right. Let me just before we continue with the registration, I want to see... No. Let me just rope in Makali. Before we go to the voter registration. Okay, you've had the assessment of...
but Dibal...
Let them give us their candidates.
On
what is happening?
Yes, I want just to...
If you look at Karuma's analysis, it's based on the number of MPs. But it's not looking at the registration for each area. If you take a place like Northeastern, because a presidential vote, you count the total number of votes. If you look at Northeastern, the whole of Northeastern combined is not even equal to Kiambu. It's not.
Yeah, they are registering.
So you see, so a presidential vote, if you start basing your analysis on the number of members, you're likely to get it wrong. That's why you see we are talking about the regional blocks. Central Kenya block.
Yes.
How many votes are we talking about? Our block, how many votes are we talking about? Molembe Nation. And for your information, the Western Kenya block doesn't go to one basket at all. It doesn't. It's a matter of trying to analyze what share of the total block will be taken by which coalition. The way I look at it currently, last time Raila took a bigger share, a lion's share of that block, and the Ruto took a very small share. This time there could be a turn of the tables. I see a situation, if you get Sifuna by your chance becoming a deputy, that block will go to the opposition coalition, not the government coalition. I see Wetangula getting a small bit of it to broad-based.
That is Bukomba.
So yeah, basically that's the home ground where he comes from.
Yeah, Busia, Vihiga, Kakamega.
The rest will run with this Funa. I can tell you for sure that will run.
Busia.
You know what is going to happen? And Kaluma is a lawyer. The law says once you defect a year to election, there can't be a by-election. You wait, you see what happens.
But who is Sifuna in the political space? There's a balloon created by Uhuru Kenyatta after dropping Matiang'i. Who is Sifuna? Why don't you then announce Kalonzo and that's Sifuna? We finish this Sifuna balloon, you keep floating.
It will be announced. It will be announced.
Sifuna is a person Raila picked from Bungoma after failing to be an MP how many times? It's a balloon being puffed up here without any political weight or content. Give him to us.
But
show you that Western.
Yeah, but politics is
Western is
perception. Is perception, isn't it?
What perception?
Perception is right now he's actually won.
I mean, who is
unless he's telling us, you know, there might be the people providing the air for the balloon to.
Yeah.
If they are providing the air for the balloon.
So it's a puffed up balloon.
We'll agree. If it's from their side, there are people doing it.
And you know why they are delaying this thing, the ball.
But no. Let's not even. I wanted to know what.
It's too small in the political space to be discussed. We cannot bother about. Bring him if you believe he can give you any vote in Western Kenya. We will tell you. We are least bothered by Sifuna. Bring him.
So he's very, from the broad-based government, he's a very inconsequential figure.
Consequential.
But he's
don't give a damn.
Yeah.
From their side, it's expected.
It's expected.
Yeah, what they're saying is expected from their side. Because in Bubao, where I come from,
yes,
we say the reason why the liver chokes many people who eat it is because wanaidharau. Unaona hika kitu kidogo. Then ile kauzi yake inashika meno hapa na kunyonga. It's the same attitude.
So who is Sifuna?
Because in politics, you don't undermine
you cannot say it here. We've sat with you in leadership for how long, and to say Sifuna is somebody who should bother.
Yeah. No, but from your side, but
who is Sifuna?
All right,
I like that attitude. I like that attitude.
I want just.
But let me make the point I wanted to make. The reason as to why these people are delaying naming their candidate and running mate.
Yes.
Is what the repercussions thereof will be. Immediately, Matiang'i is not in the lineup. Those goosey people who are only saying they are with Matiang'i because he will be in the presidential, thing,
yes,
are gone. Immediately, you have nobody in that top level from Mount Kenya. You have to go and explain to them what they have in this thing. And I can tell you, we've done our arithmetic, my brother. I'm happy you spoke about, figures. People have told you how some people are so many. How many votes are in, Ukambani region?
We are now doing almost 2.5 million?
No. I'm not talking about Wakamba nationally. I'm talking of Makueni, Kitui, and Machakos. How many?
About 1.8 now.
1.57. The last election, how many votes did you give Raila? 750. You gave Ruto 250. Barely 1 million voted. And that is why I agree with you, Makali, when you say that there has been a lot of gerrymandering around, issuance of ID cards issuance of, registration of voters. And where this thing needs to be focused, if you indeed want to compete us, is to ensure that all Kenyans who are of age, number one, have IDs and are registered to vote. If you focus there, we can then meet after that.
But
as matters stand, Makali, howsoever you come, we are ready for you. You are delaying your fate and destiny.
Kaluma, let me take you back, kidogo, 2022. You know, the argument is pushing here is the same argument people are pushing. That if Kalonzo will not be made the deputy running mate to a rider, the campers will not vote for rider. Did we vote for rider ourselves? We did.
Yeah, you gave
higher percentage than what they did themselves.
No.
Higher percentage.
That is also a lie.
So you see, the thing is, so long as your people are able to, because to me, I think as Kenyans have said that this leadership is not serving their interests. Majority of the Kenyans.
What are you talking about?
Majority of the Kenyans. Except the Karuma team.
Those are people who have decided to be blind.
Tasted power.
There is a stadium in Kitui. What are you talking about?
Who seem to have tasted power and think all is well. What will happen, Dibao? And that's why to me, I think Karuma, with due respect, you need to change your attitude. You'll be surprised. And that was the same attitude in Olkarau. Walipeleka kila kitu kwa kifikiria, people are stupid.
Olkarau was expected.
People have changed.
Yeah.
People have changed.
Olkarau was expected.
The young Kenyans are no longer caring about where you come from. They are caring about their lives. Who is going to deliver for us so that we better our lives. And I'm telling you, 2027 is going to be a game changer. Wait and you'll see.
Dibal, in terms of turnouts, it is a lie which has been told a lot. I see Makali repeating it here. Let me correct it. The highest voter turnout, if you were to look at IBC record in the last election, the lead county in the country was Bomet at 79%. Followed by Elgeyo Marakwet, you can check them, Kericho and Nandi at over 76. The others were 78%. In fact, the highest were in that block. The following block were Luo Nyanza. And if you look at the IEBC record in terms of turnout, Migori was at 74 point something, Homa Bay at 73 point something, Kisumu was 72 point something, the least was, Siaya, which was 71 point something. So Luo Nyanza followed closely in terms of the turnout. Mount Kenya, the highest was Murang'a. If you would bother to check, at around 69%.
68.1%.
Yes, 68.1. Check Nyeri. Those were the highest.
Nyeri was 69.5%.
Correct. So Nyeri was the highest, followed by Murang'a. Then you go to Kirinyaga.
Kirinyaga 69.8 actually.
Correct. So if you look at Central Kenya turnout, they were lower than the Luo Nyanza. Where they beat us in actual numbers is this, and Makali, listen to me. In Central Kenya, a good percentage of people who attain adulthood register and apply for IDs and obtain it. Okay? So that, and then the people who have IDs also register to vote. I've been moving around in Mount Kenya. The IDs are actually being issued by IEBC officials, not the NRB officials. And you are registered immediately. So that you have this 100% of registrable adults have IDs, and this 100% of people who have IDs have voters' cards. So when they go and vote, like on average 65%, the way you see there, it is 65% of the total adult registrable. When you go to Kambani.
But why is IBC issuing these IDs instead of national?
No, because they are registering straight away. Actually, there is an IBC desk at the NRB. I was in Lari, touring Limuru the other day. That is what they do. And so they have 100% voter registration against IDs. What has been happening in Ukambani, as in, our places? In your region. And our place is the highest registered after Mount Kenya. Do you know what we have discovered happens? Dibal. Of the registrable adults, only about 70% register.
About 70%?
Apply ID, for ID, as in your place also. This 70% also, Dibal, only 70% of the people who have ID
Who
are
registered
registered
to vote.
as voters. Meaning the registered voters against the registrable total is 70% of 70%, 49%.
49%.
Okay? Of the 49%, Luos, I told you, registered over 70. So if you have 70% of 49%, you have 34.3%. You get what I mean? Against the real numbers. And that is why I'm telling you, the trick now is to register people. And why that affected Raila, Makali, I want to tell you, our former coalition, is that our coalition controlled the border areas. And along the border areas, because from North Rift, Northeastern, Marsabit, going to Tana River, Coast, the Masai areas, Namanga, Nyanza, Western, those are border counties. Did you know, Dibal, the entire Luo Nyanza are considered border counties? That we border Uganda and Tanzania through the lake. So people apply, and like the one for Northeastern Kenya, you apply for a whole year, the ID does not come. When it comes, it is written declined. We are currently registering people who are far older than myself and
no, I never registered.
Because the vetting has been removed. So where this thing will be hacked, get all Kenyans to register, and when that happens, we can then begin, politics. But bring your candidates as
no, he's given you a likely scenario.
We are giving you a candidate.
Yeah, you've not given us a countermanding, strategy from your end as well. If they have Kalonzo Sifuna, what will...
Let them give us...
Kalonzo Matiang.
How will you countermand that, maybe to lock up also the Western region bloc vote from the broad-based government? Because I think...
Let me tell you, Dibal, if there is something, President Ruto has done very well, is that he's included all regions. In fact, Makali here will tell you that Western Kenya runs this government. Makali, you know what controlling foreign affairs ministry is.
They have.
You know what it means to have the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Chair of PSC. You know, you and I know. You know what it means to have the DPP and all these other positions. And you may not be aware, Dibal, but you know the developments in Western Kenya. I'm telling you confidently that Western Kenya, Nyanza, Rift Valley, Northeastern Kenya, the Mid Triangle, Marsabit, Isiolo, Tana River, the Coast Province, leaving, a few constituencies, which we may give you gratis. No, we will be locked.
But Makali,
we will be locked.
You can actually say and talk about,
And we are taking Nairobi.
The government offices.
We are taking Nairobi.
Been doled out to, political operatives from the Western region, but also of what political consequence they have on the ground, aside from what they've given government.
Dibal, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Do you know we were bringing...
the reality is that
the only referral we were coming to was Kenyatta. Now we have Bungoma, now we have Kakamega level 6 hospitals. What are you talking about?
What is big?
I'm talking about the political figures.
Do you know the infrastructure Ruto has put in Western Kenya?
The thing is, you could be having a very senior government position, but you don't translate that to development.
That's what I'm saying.
What is bigger than, at one point, Mudavadi was on, the vice president of Tumoy. At one point, Muda Awori was deputy president. Wamalo was deputy president. So these other positions we are talking about, are they above that?
When is the last time you are in Western Kenya?
The only thing, the Western Kenya...
That is a construction site.
So it seems the mindset here is that now if you have development, that will actually turn out into...
to vote.
To voter turnout as well, you as a person.
No, inclusion.
But the reality is, even you, of course, you as a person, you're very significant in actually bringing votes.
Bring votes.
Yeah, at the end of the day. The realities of development, you can talk about Rafael Tuju with Rarieda as well. Didn't he do a very sterling job?
No, that is individual.
That's what I'm saying.
That is individual at the level of MPs. I can tell you as MPs I can lose. But the presidential bloc will be about securing the interest of the community. And the community, let nobody deceive you that my own children, my children will vote for Sifuna because he's young. What nonsense is that? They'll vote for the candidate we are buying, who is President Ruto. And I can tell you...
Are you saying you force your children to
I will not. I know how they will vote.
Kaluma is just imagining things.
What I'm trying to tell Kaluma is...
we were told in the last election...
Hang on.
Have Martha Karua, women will vote for Baba, professionals will vote for Baba. Those pyrrhic things you talk Gen Z and other things. My friend... The biggest thing is the interest of a community in elections, and it will be secured, you will see it.
Okay, but let's look at the reality of what also Honorable Kaluma is raising, because there could be a whole lot of euphoria around you know, Sifuna and the Sifunization of the country as it stands.
You know,
right now, I think there is also is it a pay bill of trying to, you know, raise funds and try for his candidacy. I think he's put out there.
The one for
where I saw also Kaluma was really
I told you,
denigrating it completely. Yes, we've seen that. It's
Morara Kibaso
as well. We've had also David Maraga at the end of the day asking. You know,
it collapsed.
To try and...
Kalonzo called a fundraiser the other day. He got less than 10 million.
Yeah. Your party leader as well. Could you tell us?
Matiang'i went to the US, came back with 3 million Kenya shillings, cannot move. It's now being dropped for us.
I think what has happened,
the question I was asking is it also an empty gong that sometimes it could be, you know, algorithm bias from social media, you know, creating, you know, a euphoria around Sifuna. But in reality, in bringing the stakes is diametrically different. But looking at also the polling, at least he's ticked up at 9% as it stands against other formidable political figures
Who's
in the country.
polling?
Right?
You know, that's what I was saying.
Who's polling?
From Tifa, from Infotrak as well.
What I was saying is this, when you listen to Kaluma and the confidence with which he says this is a balloon, I will not be surprised that the air in that balloon is from their side. Because if it's that sure, then obvious. That
there is from Uhuru. It will burst.
It's another hot air.
It is hot air.
It's another hot air. But what I wanted to say is this. You know, that is nothing new in Kenya. You remember the story of the time of Odinga, Matiba, and Moi. You remember what happened? When Matiba went to UK for treatment.
Yes.
When he came back, through what he's saying, the crowds were mobilized for that presidential candidate.
Yeah.
By the time he landed in JKA, he saw him becoming a president himself. So by the time he landed in Uhuru Park, he said there's no way he can deputize Raila, Jaramogi, Odinga.
And Sifuna said so yesterday.
And that was the end of the story.
And Sifuna
so that's what I'm saying. This balloon, unless the air is from their side.
But let me ask you, Honorable Makali, even from your end as well, would you tell us what metrics are you using to settle also for, if at all you'll settle for Sifuna as the deputy president?
Basically,
do you have any significant data that you can back up?
I think
or are you going also with the euphoria that is...
No, I don't think we are. You know, basically, the bow, people have gone to school, and we know very well that if you do proper opinion polling with a very scientific methodology, it gives you the right candidate. The only challenge is what Kaluma is saying. You know, there are opinion polls which are already scaled, and we have seen them. Him and me, we sit in parliament. You see somebody being rated number 1, but when you go to the ground, there's nothing.
Not even know what a bill is.
He doesn't even know what a bill is. He's been rated number 1.
Yeah.
Just because he greases somebody's hands, you see. So we are saying, in a situation where we believe in statistics and we do a serious scientific opinion polling, where the methodology is concrete, I can tell you can get the right candidate.
But isn't that what Honorable Martha Karua has been seeking for? Isn't that
that's
also what Matiang'i is asking?
That's what they are saying.
Instead of these proposals,
basically that's
can you have a scientific...
Give us Kalonzo and Sifuna.
Yeah, so that you have a scientific thing. So, and the other thing is, you know, like he's saying, analysis of those, you know, the dynamics, there are quite a number of factors you consider by the time you bring that team together. There are quite a number of dynamics. Because, you know, there's also the regional issues. That at the end of the day, you must be able to accommodate everybody into your government in terms of regions, you see. So the thing is, we might say we'll give out this position, but what goes to that region? Because unless you balance this regional balancing, our politics are so much regional based that if you don't consider the regions, you are likely also to lose. And I can tell you for sure from where we sit, this balancing is what people now are working on before we declare the team. Because it will be a team where the two are the deputy and the deputy president, but the rest of the team will be...
When are you declaring?
I belong here because even them, they have not declared. We don't know. Already we know the president.
In office, but do we know we have nothing more to declare?
Do we know?
We are ready.
Okay.
Speaker is Wetangula.
No. We know much more than you guys. We know some will be kicked out, others will come in.
So, Kaluma, the likelihood also from your end, maybe, now that we can see that the deputy president sits is, I don't know if it's likely to be retained.
It's up for grabs.
Yeah, or it's up for grabs as it stands right now, trying to secure the Western Bloc. Who is a more formidable candidate from your end, you think, that can actually outmatch or go neck and neck with Sifuna right now?
Sifuna is not under our consideration.
You know,
he's not a competitor. That's what they say.
And so it cannot be the reason. It cannot be the reason we change our talk.
You're underestimating.
No, not you know, Dibal.
Do you like Greek mythology? I know there's in the Greek mythology. Let me tell you about Greek mythology.
I cannot sit here to discuss President Ruto with what he has done for this country against Sifuna, who has not even done a toilet anywhere in this country. I mean, let us be serious as people. When it comes to serious leadership and governance, Kenyans think and Kenyans see. And I'm telling you, there is one thing President Ruto has done about integrating the traditionally marginalized regions of Kenya in development and in public service that those people, hold him in gratitude for. I'm not, underestimating anybody who runs. Me, I work from the philosophy that when an opponent says he's an opponent, you have to deal with him as an opponent. And that is why I'm saying, Makali, it appears to me that you are saying it is Kalonzo and Sifuna. Give them to us.
It's one of the options anyway.
Give them to us. You are delaying fate and destiny. We deal with you, and we will deal with you either way.
But you're not telling us your formation from the other end. That's what I want to know,
yes.
at least.
And now the information we have.
We have the broad-based government, which is also in conversation.
Yes.
I mean, your party, and the Kenya Kwanza and UDA, which is now in.
So our philosophy,
negotiation in earnest.
Yeah.
We want to know what is up the stakes.
So let me give you the options. Our position is value-based. Our position has never been about the position either ODM or UDA and our other partners are getting. Our position is whoever are at the top must include all Kenyans and must treat all citizens and all regions of this country equally. And I'm confirming to you that we have no reason as we speak, proceeding from that foundation, to think about changing President Ruto, even to think about changing Professor Kindiki.
But you have said you want power.
So long as we have Kindiki and Ruto, even if that were to be the arrangement, what we ask of in terms of power is that our regions and all regions of Kenya, including the regions that will be opposing us, must equally share in the resources of this country. And so long as that is happening, it is not about Kaluma being, a running mate to President Ruto or being the candidate. So we are beyond that. That is for you, and that is why I'm saying.
These guys are avoiding the question.
Yeah. Bring your people.
Prevaricating on
whoever
this issue.
it is.
You're pussyfooting it around.
No. We are ready.
Can you just tell us who, in the formation right now, even as much as you're waiting, you didn't want to tell me that as soon as they make their pronouncement and announcement, that now you'll be now cobbling, a group together and huddle to find what is likely.
Let me answer the question straight.
Or a ticket.
Unlike them, we are incumbents currently.
Yes.
We have a president who I tell you is serving the country within the context of inclusivity and equity we've been talking about as ODM, and for their side, we have a deputy president. So unlike them, we already have candidates. Okay? Let them give us candidates, we go game.
All right. I want you just to...
You'll never get a straight answer.
I'll never get a straight answer.
So just...
But let's see.
Progress.
Do you want to change Ruto and Kindiki for us? And we are telling you we are not changing.
Kindiki will bring the numbers now?
It should.
Right now?
I mean, this is a professor. And don't look at the numbers Kindiki can bring. Have you heard, only in terms of...
Have you heard also what some of the governors are saying? That now, even within the Gema community, we should remove the G and remain with the Emma. Can the Emma now bring a political...
within the context of
consequential vote
of the foundation I'm talking about, you must look at the president and the deputy president or whoever the running mate will be beyond their regions. Take them to the values and ideals they stand for. And I can tell you, don't look at the votes Kindiki will bring in terms of whether Mount Kenya West or East. let me tell you, in our arithmetic, I can tell you, we don't even, think of, those regions we are talking about.
So he's going to be retained as the deputy president from your own assessment?
From my own assessment, we have no reason to change him.
Okay.
I'll speak with you.
All right. Let me ask also the appointment right now of Eddie Okech as the deputy whip. You've thrown down Edwin Sifuna on this. Why is he being given this particular seat? Looking also previously or currently is still holding the chair of the Roads Committee. He's part of it, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
He's also the vice chair, County Public Investment Committee. He's in it. Why all this? And there are other also party members within ODM who can be given. We have Senator
Parliament.
Senator.
Let me
Senator
respond
of Busia, yeah?
Let me respond to
Omutata.
Well, Omutata is there. We have other people who can be given all
Omutata
this.
is not in our coalition. He's an independent.
He's an independent.
Yeah, I hope you know that.
Yes, sir, working with you.
No. He's not working with us. Omutata is working for all Kenyans, mainly in the court litigation. And but let me say this. Parliament has two houses. You get it, Dibal?
Yes.
We have our rules in terms of leadership for the National Assembly, as we do in the Senate. The removal of Sifuna was long overdue. And I think I said it here before, that I don't know why he's still in leadership when he disagrees with the position of the party and the coalition. So it was long overdue. It was about indiscipline that we've allowed in all parties, even in Wiper. You have members who decamped even in the National Assembly.
Yeah, there.
And you're still entertaining them there when the law says you are deemed to have resigned from your party. And therefore you should also, be out of your position. So removing Sifuna, and this is from before Baba died. You would see him contradicting party position, which he himself, even reads. So it's long overdue, and I think it gives him time to now go and campaign to be president. I wish him well. We will meet him outside there, of course. He now has more time away from being tied down in the Senate. Now, in terms of how they replace it, the Senate has standing orders, and the senators have their procedures in terms of who to choose.
Which are different from ours.
Which are different from ours. I can tell you, you may be worried that Eddie Okech may be a chair of a committee. The underlying thing is that...
Of the Roads Committee.
The Senate has so many committees against their numbers. Yeah. Sifuna has been removed from the leadership position. Sifuna remains in all the committees. He continues to serve him, including that one, the Senate Public Accounts, committee, which is the most powerful committee, by the way, in the Senate, among other committees. So he's been removed from leadership, but is in the committee as still a member of ODM because he's not been, de-whipped from the ODM party, though he should be deemed to have gone. Now, Sifuna having gone, now the arrangement in the Senate, okay, I personally would have wished for even a different guy. You get what I'm telling you for sure. But I would not know why they chose Eddie. It is upon them. And I can tell you, if you look at the arrangement, on our side in the Senate now, it is Stewart Madsayo, who is the minority leader, isn't it? The deputy minority leader is Senator Wambua.
Yeah, it's Wambua.
Of Wiper still. We've not jolted them. The whip is?
Whip was Senate.
Minority whip.
Is it not this gentleman from Kajiado?
Yes. Which one?
The Kajiado senator. No, not Kajiado, Narok senator.
Ledama. No. Ledama is not in leadership. No.
Ledama is not.
Ledama is not in leadership.
I think
so Czech is a person from another region, and of course now Sifuna was here, Eddie has been put, but they know how they share positions. And I can tell you, if you wanted a house where you can be even in 10 committees, it is in the Senate because of the number of committees they created beyond, committees that should strictly deal with devolution.
Thank you.
So even committees dealing with matters for the National Assembly, like security, defense, foreign relations. So they have so many committees, and this is not about regional balance. If you look, therefore, the ethnic and regional balance, even at that top four, I can tell you it is square. In the National Assembly, even with our current political divergences with Wiper, Junet is the leader of majority, of minority, isn't it? Who is his deputy?
Junet's deputy is Junet.
Yeah, Mbui. Robert Mbui from Wiper. Who is the whip?
Millie
Odhiambo. Who is the deputy? Mwenje, despite being the other side. So these things are not about, you know, segregating regions or individuals. People serve based on who they decide should lead them at the time.
So, Makali, even as we're closing and we give our closing remarks, we've had also Sifuna making or subliminally making those pronouncements or hinting that, yes, he will be a presidential candidate. So this, we will have a forfeiture of that for him to be the running mate of Kalonzo? Is this what now
but you know,
is a conversation?
All our principals have declared they will be presidential candidates, all of them. That's why the negotiations.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. I'm not talking about the other president. I'm asking.
Nothing less than presidential candidate yesterday.
You know, me, I have a very basic
Kalonzo deputized.
And I said this. Whoever becomes a presidential candidate, after they agree, they must rally behind that person. If we have more than one, the game is short.
Mother Karua, she's already declared, and you know how she once she's made her decision.
But she said if she's not a member,
set her face like a flint, she will go for it.
She said if I'm not the one who's picked, I will rally behind. The only thing she says is she does not be a running mate to anybody.
Yeah.
So if she's not a presidential candidate,
and she will be a presidential candidate,
she'll be able to pick another position and then rally behind the one who's picked.
If she's not chosen.
And I think that's what they have said, all of them.
If she's not.
Kali, who chose Martha Karua for us last time?
You remember there was a that committee. We were together with you.
And I can tell you, Uhuru is playing you again. He had Matiang'i, has dropped Matiang'i, is now the one ballooning Sifuna. And you will collapse with it. Take charge. Tell Kalonzo to take charge of that process. We want a ticket where Ruto and Kalonzo are on this side so that we can start campaigning.
Kaluma, the way we are talking, you know who's ballooning Sifuna. You tell us off camera.
Okay.
He knows who's ballooning this character.
You know, we were just even thinking, if that Raila Martha Karua ticket had materialized, we'll be talking differently today.
A very different story.
It will be a complete different story.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And was this part of, you know, Uhuru's making?
Yes. It was Uhuru who imposed Martha Karua. And we were told of how Martha Karua is to secure the interest of Mount Kenya. Martha Karua will bring all women to our side. Martha Karua will bring all professionals. See, that was the story. And you remember Kalonzo was subjected on demands by Uhuru to interviews by Raila. He had been running mate for how many times? You know, it's a bad joke. And this is the game, I can tell you, I'm happy. And you remember on my tweets, I warned Matiang'i long before that beware of Uhuru's political schemes. Now he has been dropped. It is Sifuna being ballooned here. Either way, I actually think Uhuru is working for President Ruto. And I wish he continues that way. But beware. A time must come when you decide, as the Kalonzo team, who is your running mate, and you come, we meet you.
But you know,
right, from the United Opposition,
yes,
the characterization that we have also of the president having ulterior motives of somehow, you know, eliminating the former deputy president. He's on record really saying this, that, oh, you should be very careful. And even Kindiki should be very careful.
About?
You know, you've heard him talking about even when he's in the State House and they're lining up to eat, yeah, we'll not go for the second plate, we'll go for the seventh one. Yeah, even the flights as well, you know, what has been happening. We've had history of flights, you know, crashing here in the country as well. I was just wondering, from what does it really tell Kenyans from a man of his stature when he's talking about this very carelessly, you know, on media?
What are you talking of carelessly?
You know, Dubao.
You've seen you've not seen the clips.
Which clip?
There are quite a number of, he's talking about what
Rigathi Gachagua
DP says about
with his elimination. That's what I'm asking.
It's public knowledge. But
like the nonsense you are seeing Orengo talking about the death of Raila.
You know, generally what is happening, and that's one of the challenges with us politicians, because you know we have this freedom to say what we want, and some of us go overboard. But I think really all said and done, you can't rule out some of the things he's saying. It's only that people don't present any evidence to the table. And I think we need to be careful what we say, especially this time when we are approaching the elections. Because we have said many times, this is the only mother country we have. It's our mother country. And irrespective of whether you are which side, at the end of the day, we come back to the nation.
But don't you think if the state really wanted to eliminate him,
I think
there are clever ways of doing it.
People are just being told to be cautious. Even me and the Kaluma, we are cautious when it comes to our opponents. It happens to everybody. So long as, there are some people who don't care how they win the election. If they can win the election by getting out of the way, why spend energy? We need to be very careful. Anyway, as I close, I just want to say this. I still want to stand by my statement that I would plead with my side that we allow Kenyans to know our presidential candidate at least 1 year to election. I might be wrong, but that's my personal opinion. And the reason I'm saying this is because as somebody who has been also in politics, because now I'm no longer a young person in politics. I'm doing my almost 15th year in politics. You can't do things the same way and expect different results. That's why I insist this time, we must do it differently the way we have done in terms of identifying our presidential candidates.
Thank you. Right. Peter Kaluma, your closing remarks?
Yeah, on our side, we have, as incumbents, President Ruto. We have Professor Kindiki. We are waiting for the side of Makali to give us their candidate or candidates and running mates so that we can move from the too much politics we've been engaging in to determining the leadership of the country. And I want to thank President Ruto for keeping to what we stand for in terms of including Kenyans in development and ensuring all resources go to all communities and all regions. He's become a very easy candidate. Let all Kenyans register, especially in our areas. In the last election, the lowest voter turnout was in Mombasa County at 34. We want, and of course, all our bases along the border. With the vetting removal, let all our people apply for IDs. Let each and everyone who has an ID, whether it's from Makali's side or our side, register as a voter so that we can determine together and in peace the next leadership of the country, promising that either way it goes, we must preserve, of course, the nation. But don't delay this matter, Matiang'i, Makali. We want to.
We'll give you a candidate very soon.
You can delay. But your destiny is one. Bring the candidate.
We'll give you a candidate very soon.
Dr. Makali Mulu, thank you for joining us this evening. Really appreciate that cogent discussion we've had. And Honorable Peter Kaluma, thank you so much. Though you've been very cagey, right? Not really answering our pointed questions regarding your information as well, but we'd love to know next time. But nonetheless, thank you so much as well for your valued company. Sleep easy and, of course, have a restorative night. Good evening.